Universal love.
Allah's love.
Universal love.
And love is universal.
Universal love.
Allah's love.
Universal love.
And love is universal.
High God's the author who reigns supreme above us all, yeah. Because he is the Father who made all things through creation and fall. From my heart to his heart, my faith takes me up the steps of salvation, exalted with power, his spirit, I'm true pride of his creation.
Allah's love.
Universal, universal love. Love is
And love is universal.
universal love.
Allah's love.
Universal love.
And love is universal.
I'm calling on the Almighty, on the Almighty. I'm calling on the Almighty, on the Almighty, mighty, mighty.
Allah's love.
Universal love.
And love is universal.
Universal love.
Allah's love.
Universal love.
And love is universal.
Universal love. Universal love. Universal love.
Got soul music rap.
Universal love.
Rebirth in the house of good music.
Islam.
Islam.
I rise giving praise to Allah, honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to my beautiful wife. I give honors to our two beautiful daughters, Sister C and Sister U Adams Bay. I give honors to all our viewers, listeners, and everyone tuning in to Universal Love. I give honors to Brother R. Jones Bay, who is the Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I also give honors to his wife, Sister D. Jones Bay, who should be joining us shortly. And with that being said, I'll hand it over to my beautiful wife. Peace.
Islam. First, I give praise to Allah and honors to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Brother T. Adams Bay and to our children, Sister C and Sister U Adams Bay. I give honors to our guest speakers, Brother R and Sister D. Jones Bay. Thank you both for being here with us. I give honors to Sister M. Montgomery Bay and the social media team. And I give honors to all of you who are here with us this evening for our season finale. And tonight, the topic is the sin lies not in the act. And now I hand it over to our dear brother, Brother R. Jones Bay, so he can introduce himself and share a little bit of information about himself.
Praise
Peace.
Allah. Peace.
Okay. Islam. I'm Brother R. Jones Bay, and I hold the position with honor of Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It is a privilege for me to serve in that capacity. I was elected into office in 2002, and Allah has saw fit to have me remain there until this present time. And all praise is due to Allah, and I pray that I'm representing in the fashion that's becoming a Muslim. So yeah, let me say this before I begin. You know, that's such a beautiful way to open with the beauty that you extend. You know,
Islam. Praise Allah.
you know, to your family, to your wife. You know, it's very uplifting, more. You know, and that's
Praise Allah.
made me really feel good. You know, really made me feel good when you were saying that.
Praise Allah.
Yeah, that's you know that's who I am. I mean, you know, find it a little difficult to talk about yourself. You know?
Praise Allah.
But I am happy to be here on Universal Love, and I hope that you know I can contribute something that can be a benefit to all those who are learning to trust the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and learning to live according to our principles, and who are benefiting from the time that is being allotted to us so that we can work on our salvation.
Praise Allah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Come on. Alrighty. So I will now take a reading from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. I'm going to take a reading from chapter 9. Jesus attends a feast in Bahara, and here he taught human equality. And I'm going to begin at divine instruction number 11. These courtesans and thieves are children of my Father Allah. Their souls are just as precious in his sight as yours, or of the Brahmic priest. And they are working out the same life sums that you have solved, you men who look at them with scorn. And some of them have solved much harder than you have solved, you men who look at them with scorn. Yes, they are sinners and confess their guilt, while you are guilty, but are shrewd enough to have a polished coat to cover up your guilt. Suppose you men who scorn the courtesan, these drunkards, and these thieves, who know that you are pure in heart and life, that you are far better than they. Stand forth that man may know just who you are. The sin lies not in the wish. The sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. You covet other people's wealth. You look at charming forms, and deep within your heart, you lust for them. Deceit you practice every day, and wish for gold, for honor, and for fame, just for your selfish selves. The man who covets is a thief, and she who lusts is a courtesan. You who are none of these, speak out. Nobody spoke. The accusers held their peace. And Jesus said, the proof this day is against all those who have accused. The pure in heart do not accuse. The vile in heart, who want to cover up their guilt with holy smoke of piety, are ever-loathing drunkards, thieves, and courtesans. This loathing and this scorn is mockery. For if the tinsel coat of reputation could be torn away, the loud professor would be found to revel in his lusts, deceit, and many forms of secret sin.
Yes.
Islam.
Yes.
In your own words, what does this mean to you?
Well, in my own words, it means that those who condemn others who are passing through certain ways of life, and they themselves don't acknowledge that this is a way of life and act as if they are better than those individuals who are passing through that way of life, are in fact, and then have the audacity to talk about them, are in fact in the dark. The loud professor is in the dark. And he professes his ignorance when he condemns those who pass through a way of life that we all must pass through. Some ways of life that we pass through, some of us, myself included, I stopped. It didn't change the fact that Allah was in me, but I stopped.
Hmm.
It didn't change the fact that I did not, or that I didn't know he was in me. I stopped. So here comes a person can talk about, you know, the condition that I'm presently in, and ridicule me and talk down on me, not understanding that he too must go through that way of life. And who is a person anyway to build themselves up while they tear another person down?
So
I mean, what is that all about? So the one that professes the loudest to be something, those are the ones that you can understand. They haven't reached that point yet, because if they reached it, they would not be a loud professor.
Islam.
They would not be trying to convince people that I'm this, or, you know, look at them, I'm this. No, you are for real. You're really that. You just don't understand it. You don't
Praise
recognize
Allah.
it. And the person that you're pointing your finger at, you know, you don't know what he done went through or she done went through. And this could be the last time that she has to experience that, or he has to experience that in this lifetime. In the next reincarnated state, you will probably be there. And now they will have to make a choice on how they're going to treat you.
Wow.
You see? Because it goes right back around. Yeah, you talk about me today. Now, tomorrow, you may be there, and let me see how I'm going to respond if I talk about you. You see what I'm saying? We play the roles. That's for the loud professor. I don't get caught up. Remember, the loud professor makes noise. Allah lives not in the noise of time.
Islam.
He's not in noise.
Wow.
You never hear the Allah. You never hear. Now, look that's what man does, because if Allah is in man, that's not Allah being a loud professor. That's man choosing to be a loud professor. That's man making that choice. Allah is in him, bearing witness that he's making that choice. So, you know, you say that, what does it mean? That's what it means to me. You know, the loud professor is still in the dark. You know, and the minute when you can look at a person and you can feel empathy and sympathy of what they're going through, in spite of what it is, when you can do that, then you can rest assured that when it comes time for you, if you have to choose or if you have to play that role, Allah will have mercy on you, and you may not sink into the dark, deep depths of that particular condition because of the mercy that you've shown to someone else. You know, so that's where I'm at with that. That's the, you know, I be hearing that all the time. You know, people talk about people build themselves up and tear other people down. Why? Why?
Why?
You know, why spend that energy? Why spend energy talking about a person's faults? Why spend all that time talking about a person's faults? Talking about what a person doesn't do? You know, when you have no idea what it is to be that person. You don't have any mercy? You mean to tell me these great teachings that we're being exposed to have not taught us how to have mercy? We're not merciful. We want to talk about people. No, man. So yeah, to do that, you're still in the dark. That's the position. My wife is here now.
Yeah, praise Allah. Praise Allah.
I feel complete. I feel whole.
Praise Allah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, Mo.
No.
Yeah, Mo. Hey, Mo, I need you to do me a favor now. I'm in you all's company, and you all have such a vibration, a uplifting vibration, that I may have a tendency to veer off. You got to pull me back in.
Oh no, Islam, no. Yeah, Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
I'm enjoying being in your company.
Praise Allah.
Oh, praise
I can
Allah.
appreciate the realness that you display and that you
Praise
put
Allah.
out that's coming from you. So you got to pull me back in because, you know, you allow me to see.
Islam.
And, you know, one tries to get out everything. I try sometimes to get out what I'm seeing, right? Because it gives me an opportunity to talk about it and to recognize if I'm seeing it correctly.
Islam.
If you know what I mean.
Yes.
So anyway, just pull me in if, you know. That's why I'm waiting for her.
Yeah, praise Allah. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
You want to say something?
Yes. And that made me, those divine instructions made me think about myself, because we all have moments when we do those things, and sometimes it's not always the thief or the Cortesian,
That's right.
or the drunkard. It might be your friend,
That's
your
right.
wife, your
That's
husband,
right.
your
That's right.
child. It could be
That's right.
anybody.
That's right.
And sometimes when we do those things, it's like one thing I find myself, I've made myself, this is something I'm starting to practice, is that, let's say I see something that I don't like in someone. Let's say it's
Right.
something from my husband. I say to myself, well, what am I doing that's like that?
Right.
Because we're a reflection of each other.
That's right.
Right.
So I'm doing something that matches. It might not be to him. It might
Right.
be to my child. It might be to myself. It might be to my mother. It could be to the stranger on the street. I
Right.
always have to ask myself, because if not, I'm going to just be so caught up,
Right.
because
Right.
we're all working out our life sums.
Right.
And like you were speaking about that mercy, Islam,
Islam.
that mercy is so important, because if we truly desire Allah to be merciful for us, we have to practice it as well,
That's right.
for
Praise
other
Allah.
people. Because if not, then we're not going to get that back from other people. They're just going to be as just whatever. Oh, that's
That's
just Deanna's babe. Oh, she'll be fine. Whatever.
That's
And
right.
it's like, I don't want to feel that, so why would I do it to someone else? So
That's right. That's
it
right.
made me just think about myself. Praise
Yes.
Allah.
Praise
You
Allah.
know what? Think about this. Is that the type? Do we want to adopt that type of behavior or attitude? Is this what we're going to offer when we become the leading nation of the world? When we become the nation that leads the world, are we going to be the ones that turn up our nose on those who are in certain conditions because of the state they may find themselves in? Or are we going to present to the world a nation that's based on mercy, justice, love, and right? I mean, how are we going to project ourselves as a nation of people leading other nations? How are we going to be? I don't want to adopt the policies that have been taught to me based on what I have accepted as being truth that were really a bunch of lies. That's not how we're supposed to treat people. We're supposed to treat people the way we would like to be treated.
Islam.
That's the type of nation we're talking about offering into the world, because they sure don't have that kind of nation now. So we got to be showing them something different. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Therefore, that's why it's so important that we have to continue to look at ourselves, because we don't want to be like them. We're not bringing to the world, we're not uplifting people to be like them. We're uplifting people so that they can understand the not only the possibilities of man, but they can actually live in a heavenly condition here on earth. That's what we're offering. We're not going to take them backwards. We're going to take them forward. That's why it's so important that we work on ourselves. Yeah.
Praise Allah. Islam.
Islam, Sister D. Jones, babe. You want to introduce yourself real?
Who are you?
Islam Morris and everyone. I'm Sister D. Jones Bay. I'm a member of Temple Number 71 in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And I'm a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Yeah.
Praise Allah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Islam. And before I get into the next question, I just wanted to say it was so beautiful seeing just now how Brother R. Jones Bay lit up when he looked at you and he was speaking. It was so beautiful. Like he just lit up. It was so beautiful. Praise Allah.
Glad I lit up. Sure glad I lit up.
So am I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise
Yeah.
Allah.
Yeah.
When you first learned that the sin lies in the wish and in the desire and not in the act, how did it make you feel? What thoughts arose in your mind?
You want to go?
It made me really think, because I had never thought about that before.
Islam.
That's for me, that was and still is a very profound statement.
Yeah.
Islam.
For you to because we're so used to dealing in what is manifested, what we see, what we do. We're used to acting or reacting to our actions. We think so much about our actions. And here comes the prophet, praise Allah, telling us, you know, there's something that happens before you take that action. There's something that causes you to take that action. And that is the thought.
Mm.
You know, and so it helps me to be more mindful of what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it. And it forces me to stop and think about, what am I going to do with that thought I have? You know, because sometimes, well, at least in my experience, excuse me, sometimes I'm not always able to help what I think. And so I accept, you know, this is what I think, this is what I feel right now. And it may not always be a pure or uplifting thought. So I ask myself, okay, I might be feeling like that. I might be really angry right now, feeling really angry. But what am I going to do with it?
Yeah, what I'm going to do.
And knowing that it's the thought that, you know, that it happens before I do it, it helps me to focus more on what am I going to do with that. And so then I start to work on doing something with that to change that. If I'm thinking not, then it helps me to think about, oh, wait a minute, you ain't did it.
Yeah.
But you're thinking about doing it.
Right.
You want to do it.
You done it.
So in my mind, I've done it.
You've done it.
Islam.
So Allah, please help me. How can I change that?
Yeah.
Islam.
You know, I feel like we're blessed to know that, because now I have the opportunity to do right
Mhm.
Yeah.
before I affect
Mhm.
and influence or hurt
Mhm.
or put something out
Mhm.
on somebody else
Mhm.
or to someone else. The
Mhm.
sister was just talking about how she doesn't want to, you don't want to have a icky feeling coming from somebody else, and so you know how that feels, so you don't want to give that out to your husband or to someone else. Well, knowing that it lies in the wish and the desire, that gives you an opportunity. That gives me an opportunity to work on it and make it right and to make it better and to talk to myself. It's my opportunity to talk to myself, talk myself out of feeling and thinking like that.
That's right.
Talk myself into being still and listening and asking myself, well, why you feel like that? Where is that coming from? Oh, that's something you ain't, you know, you haven't thought about that before. You didn't think about it like that before. Oh, wait a minute. You're thinking about doing something that's going to get you in a place where you don't want to be.
Right.
And then you're going to have a real mess to clean up. Or you may not be able to clean it up. You may put that out there and do it, and you may change the course of the rest of your life. So I praise Allah that now I know that just thinking like that, thinking about that, starts the wheel turning towards it happening and manifesting. And so I find myself using it more so when I'm thinking things of my lower self than I do when I'm thinking in higher thoughts. But I need it both places.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I'm thinking godlike and when I'm thinking ungodlike, I need it. I need to be able to use that. I need to be able to get a handle on that. And so now that the prophet has given us that lesson, I have another tool to work with.
So,
Because before I would have probably just did it and said, oops, I didn't mean to do that.
right.
Well, that didn't turn out so good. But now I know I'm thinking about it. So if I'm thinking about it, I can think it all the way through, and then I may not even have to do anything else about it. But if I do, I think I will make a better decision than I would have had I not had that space where I could think on it first.
So, yeah. Did you want to say anything, Brother R. Jones Bay?
You know, well, I echo a lot of what she said, but thought has different planes of thought. I want to try to stop the thought from manifesting on this plane. So that means I got to fight on the plane above it. Now, if on the plane above where I'm trying to fight, I got to make sure that I'm not under the influence of that which breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. Because on that plane, there is hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms too. So I'm trying to learn the art of being in a combat. I can fight it and not just let it have the final say where it manifests on this plane. Then I got to pay double for it. I got to pay double for it on the plane above it, where I failed to fight to stop it from manifesting. Because see, once it manifests, I got to deal with it down here too. So what I'm trying to learn how to do is to watch what I wish for. And I come from a time when I was growing up, we always was wishing for something. I wish I had a bike. I wish I had new shoes. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. So my mindset was in fact wishing based on my desires. Now what I'm trying to, what I'm learning, and this is what makes the prophets, you can tell he is who he is. Now I'm learning that I have to control my wishes and my desires. I have to learn to control them. Because if my wishes and my desires are prompted by, like I said, what's being bred, and if it's hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms, that means that what I'm going to do is create here the way I'm thinking there. You see what I'm saying?
So,
see, the thought is not just here. The thought is above here. The thought is on the plane above here. The thought is not just here. We see the manifestation of what's there here. So what we have to do is fight there and not let it get here. Therefore, we have to watch what we are thinking, what we're entertaining, what we're wishing for, what we're desiring. We want to make sure that it's nothing that takes place that can cause us to wish harm on our brothers or our sister based on what we think they've done to us. Because once we put that in motion, it will not only harm us there, but once it manifests here and say we do something like that, we got to pay the double price. So what I'm trying to learn is to control my wishing and my desiring. I'm trying to examine what's making me wish for this. What's causing me to desire this? And that's solely based on the way I'm thinking. And what does that mean? That means whatever is influencing my thinking causes me to create or to withdraw from that thinking, or from that thinking, I pull out a thought that's in accord with the way I'm thinking. And that thought, if I don't fight it, will not only I'll be held accountable for it there, and I'll be held accountable for it when it manifests here. So yeah, I got a chance to stop it there. See, I don't have to let it manifest.
So,
See, once I've let it manifest, that means I have surrendered. And that means now, if I surrender to it, at the moment I surrender, I'm a slave to sin.
Islam.
You know? So that's what we're trying. That's what we're really trying. That's what he's telling me. You know, I gotta fight. You know, that's conflict. That's the conflict. You know, that's
Islam.
the conflict.
Yeah, and you know, I was when I was listening to you all speak, I was thinking about like here on this plane, on the plane of things made manifest, and how it's like everything is geared to feed that carnal part of man. Like not everything, but most of the things are.
Yeah.
Like when you look at, because when you all speaking, I started thinking about TV.
Yeah.
TV, before you know it, you be like, man, I wish I had that hamburger. Or that burger. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. You go in the store, people like, I wish I had that food. I wish, and you don't even know that you're sinning through those thoughts. And it's geared to what I'm learning is geared to bring you outside of yourself. Because I know before I came into the Moorish Science Temple of America, I thought when I acted it out that's when I sinned. But like Sister D. Jones Bay was speaking about, every time I hear that, I'd be like, wow, it's the sin is in the wish and the desire.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Where's
and it's
that?
like to wish for something. It's you like in like was it invoking it? You're trying to bring something that can possibly do you harm. You know, and then sometimes those I know me personally, like I struggle at times with it's not really wishing, but sometimes desiring things that I don't need.
Right.
You know, and being able to come to the Quran and constantly remind myself that that's where the sin lies.
Right.
So be thoughtful, be mindful of the thoughts that you hold, of the things that you're thinking about. And if you do have a certain thought, make that speedy reparation.
Right.
You know, because before that, I wasn't making the speedy reparation. And so it was manifesting just all around me. And I'm like, where's the stuff coming from?
Right.
And I didn't know where it was coming from.
Right.
But when I look at the teachings, it gave me an opportunity to correct those errors.
Right.
Whereas before, I wasn't correcting them.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I was just making one on top of another, you know.
Right.
And then that was very dangerous for myself and for those around me as well.
Right.
You know?
And you remember something that it says, doesn't it say wish and desire?
Islam.
Does it say and?
I believe so.
It said the sin lies in the wish, comma, in the desire.
Okay. Well, you know, that means that they are working together in unison. They're working together. It didn't say just the wish. It says the wish and desire, right?
Islam.
Did it say A-N-D?
It doesn't say and. It said in the wish, comma, in the
In
desire.
the desire. Right?
In the desire.
In the
and.
desire. Not
In
and.
the desire.
In the
All right.
desire.
And.
That-
All right.
Yeah.
Praise
Well,
the
you
Lord.
know that they are together. Wish in the desire. It didn't just say wish in absence of desire. It put desire there too. See, when you're wishing, it comes from desire. Your desire causes you to wish for that thing that you desire. I wish I had. What do you wish you had? What I desire. What's my desire? I desire to have some money. I wish I had some money. You see what I'm saying? See, and when he tells us that, we have to pay attention to them both. We got to watch our desires because our desires can prompt our wishing. I wish I had a diamond ring. Well, why do you wish it? That's what I desire to have. So now what we have to do, we have to make sure that when we go in combat, when we combat those particular elements, we have to understand we got to go at them both.
Wow. You know.
Because how can you defeat the wish if you don't defeat the desire? when it's that the desire is what promoting you wishing for it.
Wow.
But you got to go at them both. Because look what we do. We wish and we don't get it. We don't think about it no more, but the wish is still there. The only reason it hasn't manifested is because the desire is not strong enough. But the desire is still there too. So in the proper time, that desire going to kick in and you'll start wishing for it again. Because the wish ain't went nowhere.
Wow. And like you have people that say, I wish he gets sick. I wish he.
That's
I
what I'm
wish
saying. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
like,
saying.
wow. Like,
Because
wow.
and why? Because I desire them
Wow.
to have that befall them because what I think they have done to me. I'm
Wow.
justified.
Wow.
I wish something would happen. Well, I wish something would happen to them. I wish they get locked up.
Right.
I wish but Mo, that's what I'm saying. We got to be aware of just how this thought can take on a form, not only on the unmanifested part of it, but also on the manifested part of it. And we got to pay the price, So
I just looked them both up in a dictionary, and,
Yeah.
and something interesting I saw is that desire, it says to long for.
yes,
To long for it.
yes,
So it's also tied up with feeling.
yes,
And
yes.
and to wish
yes,
is to bring into expression
yes,
that desire.
yes. That's correct.
It's
That's correct. That's correct.
It's and what Sister D. Jones Bay is in conjunction with what I was thinking about. When I hear the wish, it makes me think about you thinking about it. But when the desire comes along, that's when you're feeling it, like
Yeah.
you're really feeling like so you're longing for your urge. You have an urge, like you really desire
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
that's when you start drawing it more to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you feel it, and once you feel it,
Yeah.
to you, and and that goes for good and bad. So
Mm-hmm.
That's right there.
importance of keeping our passions and desires in the bounds of righteousness.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
The
That's
thing
right.
is, excuse me, our lower self is gonna throw stuff at us all the time, like, "Oh, go do that." Go. It's not like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
We're gonna-
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because certain things we have are able to control. Not everything, but certain things.
Yes.
Certain things we are just not going to even entertain the thought.
That's right.
So that's why I think why it's in the wish and the desire, like you're hoping for, you really, and then it gets to that, and it made me think about when I was growing up, and people would say to me, "Well, why did that bother you?" I didn't do it, but it would make me upset because they thought about it, but I didn't understand that it's because the sin lies in the wish and in
Right.
the desire.
Right.
And like the Brother R. Jones, they were speaking about how it starts up there, and in your dreams, because if you thinking about something, just because it don't manifest down here, it's gonna show you see things through your dreams. The dreams are from on high,
Yeah.
and they're showing us. I looked up a definition of dreams, and it said something about vision, something within the pillow. But when I think about dreams, we have our own dreams. They're being projected from our own mind. So that means that's coming from you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not to that Allah can't send us messages, but
Yeah.
it's in direct connection to us.
Yeah.
So if we're out in our dreams doing good things, praise Allah. But if we're in our dreams doing some not so good things, we have to really be mindful of our thoughts and our wishes and our desires, because especially if sometimes you battle, "Oh, I don't want this, I don't want that." The one of good is evil. So, and even in us having thoughts like that, we're still drawing it to us. So it's so important to make sure that we're really studying the Prophet's teachings and utilizing them so that we can actually just stop the thought.
Yeah.
I said that's why we're taught keep it all within the bounds of moderation.
That's right. That's right.
Don't go too far with it. Either way, don't go to either extreme.
Right.
Keep it in moderation. Keep it in perspective.
Right.
You know, keep it in a safe and doable space.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right. You know, you said something too that you know, people have a tendency to think that they say when they say about the visions in the pillow, reverence them, for dreams are from on high. They take for granted that we're talking about when we say from on high, we're talking about it's just definitely speaking about coming from the highest plane. There is a plane higher than this plane that's not the highest plane. And those dreams come from there too.
So,
And
Yeah.
sometimes, and those dreams are directly associated with the way we think. It's how we think that those dreams also appear to us in the visions of the pillow. And so, therefore, our thoughts have a direct impact on dreams. Don't you know the way you live your life has a direct impact on your dreams? The things that you accept as real have a direct result on your dreams. That's why you also have nightmares. You have nightmares and dreams too. A nightmare is no more than a dream that has a attachment that causes you to become fearful. So the whole point that I'm trying to make is this: it is solely dependent upon the thoughts that you entertain, the thoughts that you give energy to, are the ones that have not only the impact on your sleeping hour or your resting hours, it has impact on your waking hours, it has an impact on your whole life in general. You are a living thought, your thought. You are a thought that lives your thoughts.
so
You know, and that's one of the greatest things for me that the prophet is teaching me, that I am a direct result of the way I think. I created myself based on the way I think. So if I'm a person that raises hell, that's how I think. You know, if I'm a person that pulls into me hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms, then I am that thought manifesting.
you say you better say it.
You know, and so the whole piece is I'm learning that I am a direct representation of the thoughts that I entertain and that the thoughts that I accept. So when you see a manifestation, no, I'm thinking like that, and that's who I am. I am manifesting who I am to you, and you know that's the way. And how I manifest myself to you is how I think.
Islam.
Praise the Lord. I'm gonna praise the Lord. I'm gonna skip some questions. What role does purity play in all of the things that we were just talking about?
purity is what helps us clean it all up.
That's right.
Islam.
That's right.
It's like the sweet water that Allah pours on us.
Yeah.
To let us clean it
Yeah.
all up. Clean up our thoughts.
Yeah.
Clean up our heart. Clean up those desires. Clean up how we act. If we have purity within us, and if we are guided by that purity, because purity is what? It's Allah. It's a part of Allah. It's another attribute of Allah. So if we're using purity, if we allow purity to engulf us and guide us, then all of this gets put where it's supposed to be, and it gets washed. Those ungodlike thoughts get washed
Yeah.
away.
That's right.
Hmm.
Right. That's right. That's
It
right.
gets washed away,
That's right.
Wow.
you know, and it brings us to a peaceful place, and it brings peace into our environment,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because we're free
Yeah.
of all that ungodliness that is attacking us,
Yeah. Yeah.
or that we are conjuring up within us
Yeah.
because of past experiences, because of past feelings,
Yeah.
because of past wants and desires,
Yeah.
because of the condition we may be existing in at this moment. I might be very sad right now.
Yeah.
I might be very lonely right now.
Yeah.
And those feelings, they're coming from somewhere, coming from the thought of, I'm sitting here and I have no one to talk to. I don't have anyone to have a conversation with. I come home to an empty house, and it would be nice if I had some company for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it can come from day after day after day of doing that and feeling that, and not understanding that we don't have to keep feeling like that. We don't have to keep letting the old way that we were doing things reign be in control in who we are now.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, now with the prophet's lessons, I'm learning, okay, I might be lonely. Why am I feeling lonely? And I do about feeling lonely. What can I do about the reality that I'm here by myself? I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I can get up and go outside. I can go and I can call someone. But the purity is helping me to just say, no, I can't. I'm not going to be affected by all of that. I'm not going to let it. Allah, for me, purity is when I can think on Allah and just peace comes into being. It's when I am, the purity is renewing my acts and amending my ways. I've turned away from it. I turned away from that thought. I've replaced that thought. Because thoughts are not always easy to just say, I'm not going to think like that no more.
It's all.
You might not want to think like that no more. But thoughts can be very persistent.
Yeah.
And it ain't got to be no outside influence. It ain't got to be nobody whispering in my ear. It don't have to be nothing I saw on TV or saw during the course of the day. It's just that thought is persistent because I'm still with it, and I'm allowing it to still be with me.
Yeah.
So as my husband said, now I'm battling, or I should be battling. Sometimes we don't battle. Sometimes we don't fight.
That's right.
We just say, well, I guess I'm just going to be like this. I'm just depressed. And, until this situation change, I'm just going to be depressed. Because we have given in. We have accepted it.
Yeah.
And that thought is what made us accept that condition.
That's right. That's right.
So if I stop accepting that thought,
The condition.
then that condition has a chance of changing.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All of what the prophet gave gives us, it all works together.
Yeah.
And it all works in harmony if we examine it and then apply.
Mhm.
Examine, apply.
Yeah.
Thinking and reflecting is applying.
Yeah.
I'm applying what the prophet said. He said, think about it
Right.
and talk to Allah. That's where the purity can come in.
Yeah.
Islam.
That's where the purity is, that help, that relief from those thoughts that can create that sin. And you feel so much better. You feel so much better, 100% better. Especially if you struggled with it for a long time. You feel so much better. You feel well again. You feel peaceful again. And that to me is the purity.
Yeah.
And the job, again, I don't know why I'm thinking in terms of tools right now. That's the result of using the tools.
Islam. Yeah. Yeah. And I was sitting up here and I was thinking about that purity, that purifying is a process. And while I was saying it's a process, because I was thinking about, like, when you take water and you run water through a filtration system, you're purifying that water, but in its processes over continuous processes of recycling that water to purify. The first round, it may catch some of the things and get rid of it completely. But yet you continuously, when I'm learning, it's like, as long as I'm in this movement, I'm gonna be always purifying, because there's always something to be removed.
Yeah.
And so in that so that's what I was thinking about with the water, that process, you get some particles out, but it don't get everything out. So you got to run it through the filtration system again to remove some of the other particles.
Right.
So it's like we're going to always be purifying, but in that purifying process, you start to remove certain things to where you don't have to deal with that anymore. That task is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's some things that's going to continue, like the sister was saying, this is going to keep coming back, because that task's not done yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You still got work to do when it comes to some of these things that we're trying to purify.
Yeah.
You know. And so when I was looking, I thought about the process being continuous.
Yeah.
The purity.
And it's lots of ways that the purification can take place, because, like you said, you run it through the filtering system, the purification process.
Right.
When you were saying that, I was thinking about, and at some point you just leave it alone and let the sun shine on it.
Islam.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or it runs over some rocks. Rather, after it comes through the purification system, it goes through another phase.
Islam.
But see, that's the striving. Remember, it says to strive for purity in life.
Wow. Islam.
That's the striving. That's the filtering. That's the struggle. You're right. As long as we're here, we'll continue to strive for purity in life. But it's got to be that element there. You just don't walk into purity.
Islam.
Purity is not open to just for you to just walk into purity. No, there is a striving that must take place. You got to strive for purity. So, you saying, when we're talking about cleaning up, man, I got so much mess in me, and I'm for real. I got a lot of stuff in me that I'm trying to clean up before I can even reach out and touch purity. I'm just getting a glimpse of purity now. I'm just getting the hem of purity's garment. I'm just able to touch just a little piece of that material there. Because I got so much I got to clean up, But the striving is what gives, and that's when he tells you. In your striving, then he comes back and tells us in another chapter, every victory over self.
It's added
He is
strength.
added strength.
Islam.
We're getting closer. But remember, we're not going to prove the strength of Allah made manifest overnight. When we reach purity, we will have proved the point that Allah is all. You know.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
beautiful.
Islam. So many things would come to my mind when the brother R. Jones Bay was speaking, and he said spoke about how every victory over self gives added strength. It made me think thought must be developed by the
That's
exercise
right.
of strength.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
and as our thoughts develop, that I feel like that's in connection to purity, because as our
That's
thoughts
right.
develop,
Islam.
you know, our mind is developing, so we can control our thoughts easier. And something Brother Adams Bay said made me think about to me today. Excuse me, I had to clean up a pen mark on our couch, and it was a big. You can see it. It was big, and my mother was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "It's fine. I'll just scrub it. I'll just try to get it out." So this morning, I was like, "This is pretty bad." So some black ink on a pink couch. So I took some cleaner and I sprayed it. And I let it sit for a while, because had I just tried to wipe it,
You smeared it.
Right.
no, it wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
It was there from yesterday, so it was dry. It's just that it wouldn't have done anything. And the fact, when he was speaking about how it's a process, I had to let it sit there. I had to let the cleaner soak in,
Yeah.
get in, so it could lift it up and I could wipe it away. I still had to, but the thing is, I still had to scrub.
Wow. Praise God.
I couldn't just wipe it away
That's right.
because it was in there. Like it got
It's deeply rooted.
yeah, it
like-
got marked.
Yeah.
And it made me think about, like, sometimes I can be very impatient sometimes. Like I'll be wanting something so instant, and I'm like, I need it now. Well, it's like things don't work like that. I can't
Wow.
just instantly be purified.
That's right. That's right.
My
That's
culture
right.
can't instantly just be so high and so this, and it's making me. That's a good reminder that it's a process, because sometimes we forget that, or sometimes we think we got it.
Yeah.
And then we get beside ourselves. We can't see ourselves. And then we're doing more things because we can't even see ourselves. So it's so important to remember that it's a process and to be patient,
Yes.
but not to get too comfortable to where you just, I'm cool.
That's right.
Oh, and then you're just stagnated. But in cleaning up ourselves, think about, like when I think about my age and I think about some of the things I've experienced and where I am now, I'm like, I understand some things in this lifetime, yes, but on a personal level, I feel like a lot of the things that I've drawn to myself is from previous lifetimes, because at my age, I'm like, how is it that I'm seeing all these things at this age?
Yes.
Like, it has to be previous lifetimes. So you have to take that into consideration too when
Yes.
purifying. Some of
Yes.
these things are so deep in our subconscious mind that we don't even realize we're doing it.
That's
And
right.
that's why we have to practice, because the more we practice, the
Islam.
more we can actually see it in ourselves.
Yes.
If you don't see it in yourself, it's not going to change.
That's right there.
And
That's right.
because when we look at other people, it's so easy to look at someone else.
Islam.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the easiest thing ever.
Yes.
And taking the time to sit down and reflect and look at yourself, that takes a lot. And that's like having courage enough for truth, because I know we all feel this, when we think about some of the things we said,
Yeah.
did, thought,
Yeah.
makes you feel not bad, but we don't even want to think about it sometimes, because it was so bad. Like, man, I said that. Oh man.
Yeah.
That must have been really hurtful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And it takes courage to do that, because if not, that's why you have a lot of people walk around in the world today just living lawless, doing what they want, and being so inconsiderate of others because they don't look at themselves.
Right.
It's
That's
probably might because it's really hard. That doesn't justify it, but praise
Yeah.
Allah.
Praise Allah.
To talk about it like you are, I think the conversation that we're holding this evening is an indication that we are making an attempt to clean up.
Islam.
We are making an attempt to clean up. If we can talk about it like we've talked about it this evening, then we are making an attempt to clean up. And we are also accepting the fact that we have to watch the way we think. We have to guard ourselves at all times against the thinking that enslaves us. You know, and so I can say that Allah has truly been very shown. He has really shown His love to us. That we're to the point now where we can have these type of discussions and never leave self.
So,
And never leave self, because everything we're talking about is self.
so
And just like she said, your wife said earlier, see, and now we're a little more conscious of when we say, I wish I had. Where's it coming from? What's
Yeah.
prompting it? You know, yeah, Allah, he's showing us that because it's Allah that's helping us to talk like this. Without the understanding, we couldn't talk about the things that we don't see.
so
I don't see my desire until it manifests. Oh, that's what I wanted. Only to find out, no, that ain't really what I wanted.
that ain't what I want. Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, Allah is really He's really blessing us. Mhm.
Be careful what you wish for.
I have to think though.
Wow. Yeah. It just made me think about the old saying, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, Mo.
Yeah. But we've reached the end of this episode of Universal Love. And as we typically do, we normally give closing remarks and things of that nature, and any message Sister D. Jones Bay, Brother R. Jones Bay, you all like to put out to the Moors, please feel free to do so. And if you got any other endeavors that you'd like to put out there, please as well, do that as well. And
You go first. You go first. You know, I think the only message that I would would like to impart is this. Be careful of what thoughts you allow or you entertain. Be conscious of what you are entertaining.
so,
Understand that your words are spirit. And you can send out a negative spirit towards someone, meaning, and that particular individual, you know, that spirit can have an impact on a person. I'm not saying that it'll take him out, but it'll sure have him focusing his attention on trying to build himself, get himself up to another functioning position and not feel so depressed because of things that you've said out your mouth. I think that people need to take into consideration, if we're truly a divine organization and we're trying to learn to love instead of hate, we need all the help we can get from each other. It's not no easy thing learning to love instead of hate, because that's a fight. You got to fight to learn to love instead of hate. You know, and I mean, the Moorish Science Temple of America is designed for the purpose of giving us the condition where the fight is truly possible for us to win, but we got to play by the rules.
so
You know, we got to play by the rules. We got instructions of how we have to conduct ourselves. And even though some may say, well, I can't do all that or whatnot, you can't be all good. No, we ain't saying you can be all man is all good or evil entirely. But the fact of the matter is, we just talked about it. We got to strive to be better.
Islam.
And that's
Islam.
his desire. His desire is to be good.
Islam.
Yes, that's what we got to do. I mean, that's what I'm learning I have to do, and I'm finding out and attempting to do it. My life is much better.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I often think about the chapter in the Quran, the verse in the Quran where it says, and I'm not sure if it has anything to do with what we're talking about tonight, but hopefully it does. But I was just thinking, suspect not evil,
Yeah.
until you see it.
And then until you see, that's right. Yeah.
Give people the benefit of the doubt, and give them a good thought.
Yeah.
Look for the best in them,
That's
like
what
the
he say.
prophet
That's what he
said,
say.
because we don't know what one another is going through, is dealing with. We don't know really truly who we are, and so we want to. I try to suspect not evil until I see it.
Yep.
And then when I see it, like the book say, forget it not. But it doesn't mean hold a grudge.
That's right.
Right.
It
That's
just means to be aware.
That's right.
Be
aware.
wise. Don't be foolish and act like you didn't see what you saw.
The truth. Yeah.
But don't hold it.
Don't hold
Don't hold
it. That's
it
right.
against people.
That's right.
Believe that in the capacity of us to change and to do better.
Yep. That's right.
And when we see that we're dealing with someone that's not ready or willing, or that wants to change or get better, then let's just pray for them.
Yeah.
And pray for ourselves that we don't let it influence how we continue to try and just give them the love.
That's right. That's right.
Let them work it out.
That's right.
With Allah.
That's right.
We just keep on giving them the love.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Praise Allah. Thank you both so much. That was a beautiful show. And
Thank you so much.
praise
Thank
Allah.
Thank you both so much.
Praise Allah.
To be on for allowing us to be on the show.
Praise Allah.
Universal love. Yeah.
Praise Allah.
Love.
And that concludes our season finale of Universal Love. And
Might want to speak up a little bit.
excuse me, that concludes our season finale of Universal Love. And I would like to just again give praise to Allah, honors to our prophet, honors to my husband, Brother T. Adams Bay, our children, Sister C, Sister U. Adams Bay, to our guest speakers, Brother Brother R and Sister D. Jones Bay, to the media team and all those who joined us for this beautiful, beautiful show. And please be sure to tune in tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. to Girl Talk, Real Talk, Morris Talk.
Yeah.
And we have a special show coming up
Next Thursday, September
This is
1st.
September 1st.
Yeah.
I believe it's called the Unity Show.
The
I
unity.
think that was a specific name. So praise Allah, and that's something to look forward to.
Yes.
That the media team wishes to put out. So thank you all again.
Other than-
Oh, excuse me, and let me not forget. Friday Holy Day meeting at 7:30, streamed on our national Facebook page and our national YouTube channel, along with our Sunday school and Quran class on Sunday at 2 p.m. streamed on Facebook and YouTube. Peace.
Peace. Once again, I rise to give praise to Allah and honors the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to my beautiful wife. I give honors to our two beautiful daughters, Sister C and Sister U. Adams Bay. I give honors to our beautiful guest speakers, Brother R. Jones Bay and Sister D. Jones Bay. I give honors to all our viewers, listeners, and everyone who's been tuned in to Universal Love. I don't really know which season this is, but it's been a while. And I want to give you all honors for always giving uplifting comments and things of that nature, sharing, liking, and loving. It's truly a pleasure and an honor being able to do a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. And I give honors to Sister Emma Montgomery Bay for everything she do for the social media team and the social media team as well.
Yes.
And
yes.
you know, and And I don't want to really have too much to say because, you know, my wife put everything out there. But as we typically do here on Universal Love, what's in you is in me, and what's in me is in you. And if we could focus on the line each other, we can accomplish some mighty things. Peace.
Peace.